Hello everyone. Today we are going to work a bit on the Scenic. So what do I need to do is basically replace the gasket for this cover, this whole cover here, the plastic one. I already did it in past, so now again it started leaking, as you can see here. On these areas it's, I guess, common to leak after certain mileage. So the procedure to do this on Scenic is you need to remove the wipers, you need to remove the cover, which is held by small screws, plastic ones, and then you remove this and you will be able to remove the metal part, which is held by bolts with screws behind. They are hard to see right now, but when you do that you have much more area to work on. Yeah, on the cover it's easier to access from top than sneaking like so. Yeah, basically removing this now, and I will show you later what else you need to do. Now when everything is removed, you see I also removed the wipers assembly fully. Here on the ground you can see it. So there is this metal cover held by a couple of screws here and here on the sides. When you take those out, you need to loosen the wiper arm, the motor and everything, and then you need to wiggle it out, and then you can take this out and then wiggle it out. When you get those things out, you have much more room to work. You see here there is no obstacle here anymore. So when you are repairing turbine or whatever, you are cleaning EGR or something, you have much more room to work with. And here let's see how the turbo looks while we are here. You remember, some of you remember the video I recorded about PCV issues. This is the PCV, by the way, PCV valve. It goes from the cover here to the intake towards turbo. And if we look at the turbo, I try to zoom in, show it somehow. It's a bit cramped here, but when I inspect it I don't see leaking. You can barely see it down there where the pipe is. Maybe now you see it's pretty much dry, as the most of the engine is. So the only issue I have here, so leaking little bit of oil on the back, maybe a little bit as well. So I'm going to repair this with new gasket. And yeah, here's a little kitten. Hello. Hey. Hoodie, hoodie. Just see. Mama and son. Alright, so proceeding now with, I'll suggest everyone also to brush the dust a bit, so that you don't get it when you take this off. You need to be really careful not to let things fall inside. Taking things one by one, you see here I removed the pipe, not removed it fully, but I moved it away so that I have clear access to the cover. This piece goes to the turbine, so you need to be careful not to drop things inside the pipe. You see here, so always use cloth or something to cover it. Make sure you don't drop things inside, otherwise you are looking at the disassembly of this whole thing behind in order to get that thing out, or you risk destroying the turbine and the engine possibly. So always use piece of cloth like so. Here, cover the battery or disconnect it. Recommended is that you disconnect the battery. Here's the piece. Yeah, this goes to the turbine. A bit of condensation, but nothing much. Now when we made more space, we removed this pipe. This is the intercooler pipe or something like that, and the pipe for the return of the fuel here and here. Now we have space to remove the bolts around 10 millimeters, and then we basically just lift the cover. Here, when removing this, take out the vacuum pipe, take the connectors, take the PCV, and then you have space to remove this. We will see now. Now when the cover is out, we can see here. Be careful when removing it, because the engine was not hot. When it's hot, it's maybe easier. This engine was cold, so the gasket and everything is a bit cold. You see here remnants of what have I put before. See, the gasket is a bit tough, a bit hard. It's 10 months old, this around 10 months. I'm not sure, I have a log, but I have somewhere recorded when I replaced this. But we can see that leak started on this side here. Yeah, exactly here. So I didn't even put too much, only on the specific areas of the liquid gasket. You see, they say don't put too much, just enough, and I did that. But yeah, still got leaking on these sides here. Maybe the cover needs to be replaced, but yeah. And let's see the engine. You see all of this needs to be cleaned up, where the seating of the cover is. The surface must be very clean before you install new gasket and cover back, or new cover even. When it comes to the cleaning part, you can use a really fine sandpaper, like 600, 800, the very fine one, so that you don't damage the surface here, which needs to be perfect almost. When we look at the inside of the engine has oil which is around 7,000 kilometers old, so I replaced it 7,000 kilometers ago. So new oil is coming, maybe in this video even, but I will see. The state of the engine looks solid, I would say. Yeah, no sludge. This is just oil. You see here when I did use the engine flush couple of times in past. You can see it in one of my videos as well. So this is very good state of the engine at the moment. The camshaft looks good, oily, which is important. There are some marks, but it appears to be from the past, and I don't see significant wear. Here, for example, looks pristine. See? And here, let me dirty my hand a bit. Yeah, I'm very satisfied with this engine. Yeah, so the leak was basically here. Need to get that cleaned, and yeah, maybe I'm not going to put so much liquid gasket anymore. Now that I see here, maybe that was the reason for the leak, and it appears that there was a bit of leak behind. If I can record it somehow. Yeah, maybe tiny bit. It's nothing much. It's nothing that will ruin your engine or so. Yeah. Now I continue with cleaning this and we'll come to installation part of the gasket. Sun started heating from the back, but I'm almost done cleaning. You see the surface. It needs to be flat and clean from any debris or old gasket or whatever. So this surface here, you basically don't use the hard wire brush, but something really soft, and try to clean as much as possible. You have this fine sandpaper and other things that you can use, and clean as much as you can, not going too deep to damage the surface here. Then you might have a bigger problem than a gasket and a little bit of leak. As you can see, I cleaned it a bit. I use random cloth when I clean the surface here to not let any dirt going into the engine. Also good idea, you can cut piece of cardboard, make sure it's clean, and when you are not working, you do it, you cover it like so, then you are somewhat safe that something doesn't drop from the top into the engine. When it comes to the cover, here's the old gasket. I wouldn't say it's bad, but it isn't also very good. It's really hard, which I'm surprised about considering that it's brand new for 10 months or so. It's very, very hard, which is strange. I guess the quality is not so good. I would expect this to be a bit softer. When it comes to the cover is original. You see here the Renault markings and the part number. If someone needs the part number for the cover, this is Renault Scenic MK2 1.5 dci 60 kilowatts. So this is the cover number. Yeah, looks like someone was adjusting that number. In any case, and interesting about it is this is the holes through which PCV valve is breathing, so to speak. So PCV valve hose goes here, and through these little holes it takes the evaporation, I guess. It takes them out to the turbo, as I explained in one of my videos. You can check that. I think this cover still can be used, but maybe it's good idea to think about replacement in future. I try to clean it as best as possible, but on some places here it feels like plastic distorted of sorts, but not too much. We will see when I install new gasket, and this time I might not use as much liquid gasket. I will just put it on these areas here, on the corners basically, and I will leave this as it is. So I will put some on here, 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 and here. Here's the new gasket, Corteco, and as you can see, you can see that it's much softer than the old one, which is here. If you compare the two, it's not too bad, but you can notice it when touching. This one is much rougher, much harder than the new one, which is a bit more flexible, as it should be. notice the difference between two gaskets. On the new one we can see it has little points here and here. You see right here on the ends basically, while this one doesn't have it. So I think this is different brand than this one. Yeah, I cannot remember what it was, which brand was it, but this feels a bit more, a little bit different. I hope it fits properly. This gasket fits perfectly and feels like from factory, because you see these little pimples, they are all around, and on the previous one there wasn't these little things, as you can see on the ends and on this side. So like so, I guess they are important for some reason, maybe for better fitting of these gaskets, and it fit really well without I will just put a little bit of liquid gasket on the corners, so just on the corners here, maybe it doesn't even matter, but just for my own security and peace of mind. Well, while I was doing this cover, I decided to take a better look inside the EGR, and I took it off altogether. I cleaned it once, maybe 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and looks alright. Maybe, it's hard to see some debris here, and inside, I will show you the pieces. This is how it happens usually. You do one thing and then you want to do more. This is the EGR, you see, it goes like so. It has 3 screws. Works fine. Sometimes I notice a little bit when the engine is cold. When the engine is cold, I notice a bit of roughness. But then it shortly disappears. I'm trying to clean this pipe. It's dirty, but not as dirty as it was before. I have some degreasers, need to get a bucket, but I'll clean this a bit more and just disassemble it. It's not hard procedure if you want to do it. If it was never taken off, maybe it will be a little hard. This is what is below the EGR. So basically you have EGR here mounted. There is a little metal gasket here. You can put, as you can see, as I did in past, liquid gasket if you don't have the rubber one that maybe goes here, so just to prevent any exhaust gases going towards the cabin. And you clean this with the vacuum cleaner, nothing inside now, and you clean the pipe and the EGR and just assemble everything, and you will see if there is difference. In my case it helped me with rough engine idling in past, that sorted it together with the airbox fix that I had. But when you look at when everything is disassembled, it's not that hard to work on Scenic. Everything assembled, I mean the engine part. Also clean the EGR, the J pipe or U pipe or however it's called, I'm not sure, and so far looks good. It's a bit tedious to do it in the direct sun. Also replace the cabin filter. 1 year. 1 year. These are cheap, but it does the job. It protects you. Let's say if you don't have it, you can imagine how much dirt can enter your cabin, basically. It was a bit hard to do it on the sun. Also won't damage this overflow, the return pipe for the fuel, so this comes on injectors. I bought this a year ago, maybe even less, and the plastic is so brittle that it cracked. So this is the rubber, and this is kind of plastic, and these are plastic connectors. So probably because the engine was cold, not warm, it was easy to break these, because it was a bit hard to take them out. Luckily I saved the old part just in case, and the old part is still good. But here you go. It doesn't need to mean that new is always better. Maybe yeah, and there is a reason why the price for something is 20 euros and for something is 60 euros. Always buy from reputable brands like Febi, or I don't know, such things, such producers, manufacturers, or whatever. And be extremely careful when doing this type of job. Go step by step, no need to rush. Yeah, now I need to just assemble the plastics and metal, and that will be it. So thank you for watching. If you are not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.